Welcome to the Robinson River. This is one of the major tributaries of the Rappahannock River, and this is where it starts, up in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Hi, my name is Sophie Marino, and I'm with an organization called Friends of the Rappahannock. Today we're going to be doing biological water quality tests. Do macroinvertebrate testing to determine the water quality. This is going to tell us how much pollution is in the water. We do this by looking at what is living in the water. These are our macroinvertebrates. Does anybody remember what macroinvertebrates mean? We will show it on the screen. And then we will break it down. So macro of macroinvertebrates means big, or something you can see with the naked eye. You don't need a microscope to see a macro organism. And then invertebrate is a species without a backbone. So these are going to be mostly our aquatic insects or snails that we're going to be finding in the water today. Based on what is living in the water, we can tell if the water is polluted or not. So certain bugs are well adapted to survive in polluted waters, and certain bugs are not well adapted to surviving in polluted waters. So just by seeing which creatures are found in our waterway, we can tell if our water is polluted or not. Awesome. Hi. Now that we're out here to do our macroinvertebrate sampling, Rachel and I are going to demonstrate a technique. When you have students, you will have two students holding the net, but they will hold it in the same manner that I'm about to demonstrate. Excellent. So again, you want it perpendicular to the flow of the water. You don't want it like this or you're not going to catch anything, right? So you want it perpendicular to the flow of the water. And we can begin. So what I do is I stick it in like this, and now I'm going to ask my lovely friend Rachel to place some rocks on the bottom of the net. This is to ensure that the macroinvertebrates do not flow underneath of our net and we catch everything that comes through. It also helps me to hold it in place when we're standing in a current. So if Rachel's got it, now what I need to do is lean the net back while still holding it in place so that we get a large surface area in the water. We don't want the water to flow over the top of the net, because if the water flows over the top of the net, then all the macroinvertebrates are also going to flow over the top of the net. So make it as wide as you can and lean it back as far as you're capable. And then Rachel is going to start shuffling her feet and dredging up rocks as best as she can. We will do this for 3 minutes. All right, now that Rachel has done her 3 minutes of shuffling her feet, poor Rachel's going to stick her cold hands into the water and rub some rocks. Macroinvertebrates are these aquatic insects. They like to hang out on these rocks. A lot of them are specially adapted to be able to hold on despite the fact that the current is pushing on them. So Rachel is going to have to rub the rocks to make sure that she gets anything off of them. We will do this for another 3 minutes. Great, Rachel has done a great job. We've now done our number of minutes that we need to do. And what we're going to do is we're now going to do the hardest part, which is to scoop up the net. I will need Rachel's help with this. We are going to make sure that the water does not flow over the top of the net. If we have any large rocks, we will remove them now because we don't want to break our net. We want to collect our sample. What we're going to do is a scoop technique. So Rachel and I are both about to stick our hands in the water. Do you have this? Yeah. Awesome. And we are going to scoop it up like an ice cream scoop. Ready and go. Awesome. And we put the two ends together and we carry it back out without letting it drip into the water, because of course we do not want our macroinvertebrates to slide off. Oh, I see something cool already. Some critters crawling around. We have ice cube trays prepared with river water directly from where we took our sample to place all of our creatures in. So we're just going to look through and find out what we have in this river. Okay, I'm going to place the tray down on my net where there's nothing obviously there. And then what we're going to do is you will have your students looking through the net and picking out the macroinvertebrates. We'll have dichotomous keys available, and they will be useful in helping us to identify all of the creatures that we pull out of the water. So ideally a student would be helping with this part, the rocks that you pulled out of the net, because you'll see lots of different things are hiding on this rock. We're going to get them off and into our ice cube trays. Once you're done collecting your sample and you feel satisfied that you've gotten everything off of your net, you want to make sure you rinse your net off back into the stream that you got the sample from, so everything that you missed returns to its natural habitat. To do these collections of macroinvertebrates using your kick nets, dip nets, or any other types of materials, you do need an educational collection permit from DWR. Friends of the Rappahannock is willing and able to help you acquire one of these permits if necessary. We also have all of these materials available on loan for you to use. Just reach out, contact us, and we'll tell you if we have these things available and when, and we'll be able to loan them to you.